All right, you guys, this is a video that you have all been waiting for. This is my analysis of the Doctor Strange movie from the Marvel Universe of Avengers. Okay. This is a movie that is extremely advanced. It's probably one of the most advanced videos I'll do, or one of the most advanced videos I've done because of the movie. The movie is extremely advanced. They have some stuff in here that when I saw it, I was like, I can't believe they put this in the movie. So what I'm going to do to try to make this easy is I found a decent highlight reel on YouTube. So what we're going to do is kind of watch that together, and then I'm going to talk to you about the things that I saw in the movie. I may pause the highlight reel from time to time so that I can talk to you, and I may actually be talking over the highlight reel at some points so that I can show you certain things as they occur in the movie. You're probably going to have to go and watch the movie for yourself, because just listening to me talk about it is not going to give you the full energy. Like, it's not going to give you the full energy of what I'm talking about, but when you see it, it gives you a very good understanding. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get started with this preview. With this, because I actually did a recording a few minutes ago and it got cut short. So we're going to start over. This is the Sorcerer Supreme. She is called the Ancient One. That is Caecilius, which is one of her mentees. Caecilius, she is the lady in the yellow, the ancient one. She is an advanced sorcerer. This guy, Caecilius, that's doing the portal, he is her student, and he actually broke away from her and went rogue because he felt like she was hiding dark magic. The things that they were both doing to alter reality just then, they were doing that from dark magic, and she was trying to hide it away from him, so he thought. And it made him angry and upset, and he went to explore the dark energy for himself without her being his tutor or mentor anymore. He took some people with him, and they started to, break the natural laws of the universe together as a part of a dark energy crew, a shadow work crew. You saw those watches, so I'm going to pause for a second because I want to talk about Doctor Strange specifically. In the movie, he is the timekeeper. When he becomes a mystic, he specializes in time alteration. Okay, and it takes a special person to be able to do that, and the reason why is because of this dark energy that the Ancient One wanted to keep away from her mentees. She had a reason for doing that, and we'll talk about that later. But he was the timekeeper, okay? And so in the movie, you'll see a theme of him carrying around watches. He has this watch that got broken in an altercation, but he got the watch from his girlfriend, and I think that's just kind of like an ode to him being the timekeeper. So right here, he gets a chance to see the images, the MRI images of a person who was incurable. He had some lumbar spine injuries, and he was not able to cure this man because the injuries were too severe with his nerves. Later in the movie, we find out that the person he was supposed to be treating while he got into his car accident is a person that led him to his own healing at this ancient temple. This is him trying to rehabilitate himself using physical therapy, which was unsuccessful. This is him traveling to to the temple at Carmitage so that he could be healed. This is where he meets Mordo, the mystic. And this is where his timepiece gets broken. This is Mordo. Mordo is at the temple also learning up under the Ancient One. So he gets accepted into this place. They show him a little bit, show him around, welcome him in. That's another student. She is the Ancient One, or what they call it, the Sorcerer Supreme. She told him she knows how to reorient the spirit. She's showing him chakra centers. She showed him acupuncture. She showed him the ley lines of the body. And he was like, oh my God, that stuff that you see in a gift shop, and he kind of was joking and kind of insulting her seriousness because he is smart. He's a neuroscientist. So here she knocks his body out of his astral. She knocks his astral body. She knocked his astral body out of his physical form. Then she touches his third eye. She activates his conscious awareness, sends him out into the multiverse. She starts explaining to him about the multiverse. She checking on him because Mordo said his heart rate was getting too high. They were monitoring his physical body while his soul was journeying. There's an important part in here that's about to come up. I'm gonna pause it for a second. He's having lucid dreams. You know, he's in the fourth dimension right now, the dream state, where his body is floating around in this fourth dimension. His body in the third dimension. Right here. Okay, this is Dormammu, or something like that. Dormammu. He is the dark energy. He is the equal and opposing force to the Ancient One. She is the supreme sorcerer for the light. He is the supreme sorcerer for the darkness, dark energy. And what I want to say about this is that it's significant because it's happening at the beginning of the movie. The people who went rogue under her mentorship, they accused her, the Ancient One, of hiding the truth of dark magic from them, because they said she wanted to keep it to herself. Not realizing that they had some ego problems, because what she was doing was protecting them from this dark energy. Because you can be consumed if you start to venture into dark energy and you don't have your ego right and your intentions are not right. This character right here will consume you. You will die a terrible death of darkness because you don't know how to balance the darkness with the light. She, Sorcerer Supreme, knew how to do that, so she was able to conjure using dark energy without being consumed by it. She knew how to house and channel that energy without losing herself. Okay, so she wasn't hiding anything. In the very beginning, she showed him this character. She let him see the reality of dark energy was there. And so for them to accuse her of hiding it and keeping it a secret from them, I don't agree with that based on this scene right here. She wasn't hiding. She revealed it to him from the very beginning. She just told him that it was forbidden for him to get into dark magic while she was teaching him, because she already knew from the very beginning that his ego was going to be possibly a problem. In the very beginning, they kicked him out of the temple, and they would not. I'm going to show you this. They kicked him out of the temple because after this experience, him floating into the multiverse, and he knew that she was able to do this to him. He wanted to be taught. Right here, he was like, "Teach me how you just did that." She put him out. He on the door. You see how they let him back in? He had been sitting in that position for 5 days. And she was like, "I can't lose another one of my students to the dark energy because I don't know if he's really, emotionally and prepared for this. I don't know if he got the emotional intelligence to handle this kind of mystic work." So they put him out and he refused to leave. So they let him come back in. This is where the fun begins. They let him come back in and they start to talk to him about meditating, about reading, studying. These are requirements. You need to be in understudy in order to handle this type of power and to operate in the spirit world. You have to study. It's just a part of life. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of spirituality. You have to. Okay. This is important. Okay. She's showing him how she's conjuring. And he basically saying, "I don't know how you do that. How do I get from where I am to where you are?" Because he was like, however you're doing that, my hands would just be waving in the air. I wouldn't be doing nothing, because he doesn't understand how she's doing it. So he asked her, "How do I get from here to there, where you are?" And she said, "How did you learn how to be a neurosurgeon? How did you learn how to be a neuroscientist? You're putting nerves back together in people's heads. How'd you know how to do that?" And he said, "Years of intense study and focus. I had to learn." And she was like, "Okay, this is no different. You're going to learn. You're going to have to put in years of study and practice to become a sorcerer, to become a mystic, a mystic practitioner, I'll say." So that's what he ended up doing. He started going into this. But before I go to the next scene, I'm going to read you the exact quote, what she said to him in this scene when she was talking to him. like right here. Yeah. When she's right here in this scene, when she started talking, this is the quote that she said. She said, the language of the mystic arts. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. The language of the mystic arts is as old as civilization. The sorcerers of antiquity call the use of this language spells. But if that word offends your modern sensibilities, you can call it a program. The source code that shapes reality. We harness energy drawn from other dimensions of the multiverse to cast spells, to conjure shields, and weapons to make magic. And so what I understand is that throughout this movie, and what it becomes clear is that when we conjure shields, cast spells, weapons, and we make magic, we're drawing that energy from the dark side. We're getting that from the dark dimension. She doesn't say that to him in the very beginning, but it becomes very clear in the movie that this is where our power as light workers, our protection as light workers, it comes from the dark dimension. And what we learn as we study and understand what the dark dimension is all about, we learn over time that infinite etheric existence, infinite time, infinite knowledge, infinite energy. These types of things come from a feeding from the dark energy over to the light, and then back from the light into the darkness. Because what we know is that without the darkness, light would not exist. So it means that light actually needs darkness in order for it to sustain itself. And the opposite is true for darkness. Without the light, darkness would not exist. So they realize that I need you, okay? If I am the light worker, I need darkness for protection. If I am darkness, I need the light for direction, for structure, for information, for navigation. I need the way to be made by the light. And so this is a theme that we see playing out in the movie over and over again. Whereas the what's her name? The Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme, she begins to reveal, and she doesn't really hide it. She doesn't deny it. She doesn't talk about it. But she said, I don't really like getting my energy from the dark energy, but I have to do it because I have to protect myself. And this is about self-preservation, not only for my life, but for the lives around me. She makes it clear that selflessness is a very important part of being a mystic sorcerer. So let's go back into the highlight reel. I'm going to take you all through it all the way. Okay, she's showing him. His hands were injured, so he feels like he can't do the conjuring because his hands are injured. So they let him know that over time you're going to experience this because, So this is the time book that has the more advanced spells in it. There's missing pages because Caecilius, in the very beginning, the one who went rogue for the dark side, he took the spell out of the book because he wanted to tap into dark energy. This is the keeper of the library. I consider this to be like the Akashic Records. There are a lot of different things, but honestly, the Akashic Records is different. So you see this symbol on his head, that is significant. This symbol that he's conjuring right now is significant. This is called a sigil, actually. So I'm going to talk about that real quick. Sigils. Let me go back. Right here. You can see it in the book that he's using to conjure. And these sigils are basically symbols. When you see things like this, they look like hieroglyphs a little bit. But in the spirit world, they carry energy just like, so a sigil is a symbolic representation of energy, just like a letter is a symbolic representation of a sound, just like a number is a symbolic representation of a quantity or an amount. Okay, so a sigil represents energy. And when you see these sigils being conjured or used in this movie, you will be able to kind of understand when they're using the sigil is because they are embodying the energy that is associated with this particular symbol. Okay, so you'll see that he has this symbol not only in the book, but it's conjured in front of him with his hands. He's using the ritual, and then it also appears on his forehead. All of them have this sigil across their forehead because it's right over their third eye, because that's where they're channeling their energy. So here again, we see Dormammu. We see him changing and altering energy while they're over here practicing their conjure work. He cannot conjure because he can't focus. He's using a sling ring. And pause for a second. We're talking about the sling rings. If you can see, all of these people are in here trying to focus. He tells them you need to imagine every single detail about your destination, and focus that energy so that the gateway to that place, that destination, will come. And this is something that we can do in different ways. Okay, right here they have a fancy sensationalized, the cinematized or cinematic depiction of what we do every day when we daydream, every day when we have lucid dreams, when we write our vision, any kind of visualization technique that we use to manifest things is what they're doing with these sling rings. And we travel through gateways by using our focus. The focus on the details is really what makes the manifestation come. He said the more you focus on every single detail of your destination, the vision of it, the faster the gateway for you to walk into that reality will actually come. And this is real. I'm talking about actually, like, this is accurate, super accurate. And the way that they're depicting it, like I said, is cinematized for your entertainment, but it's very real. So what happens, what's wrong with him is that he's so busy focused on the fact that his hands are injured that he can't focus on the destination. He can't focus on the task because he thinks his hands is stopping him from being able to focus or being able to conjure the destination or to be able to pull up the energy to get there. But it's really the fact that he's not focused on it. He focused on his hands and his injury more than he's focused on the destination. That's the reason why he can't get it to come. So she's getting ready to take him to basically give him some tough love and force him to focus. Okay, so she's showing him it's not about your hands. This man is conjuring and he's missing a hand. He's conjuring with no problem. He doesn't even have one of his hands. So she's trying to let him know this is not the reason why you can't conjure. So she takes him to this destination. She takes him somewhere through her own gateway. She creates a gateway, take him to the top of Mount Everest or something like that. And she leaves him there, okay? She told him, you're going to have to surrender to your ego and stop trying to focus on other things. You need to pay attention and focus on your destination. So she leaves him. And eventually he's going to realize that it's a life and death. It's a life and death situation. You see how she left him? So now Mordo is like, you about to leave him up there again, girl? So he's about to go save him. Look, he like, man, let me go get this dude. She like, no. He gonna get it. He gonna get it. He has to surrender and focus. He's not going to be able to keep on thinking about himself and his ego. So finally, he creates the gateway. He did it. Tough love. Works very effectively. So he starts talking to the librarian. He's like, you're not ready to get into those books that are part of the Sorcerer Supreme's collection. Because again, she is the one that's advanced enough to get into this dark energy. She knows that her students are they're not far along enough to get into that dark energy. So this is him playing around in the library, taking books from the librarian, through, he done learned the gateway. So now he's playing around. He getting in there. He's reading. His astral body is reading the material while he sleep in the bed. This is him learning about the mirror dimension. So when she was giving him an example of what conjuring looked like for the very first time, she said, we harness energy drawn from other dimensions. Now, one of the dimensions is the dark dimension, but the mirror dimension is another place where you go to sort of build up your ability. And so what she's showing him is that in the mirror dimension, you're able to see things, you're able to observe, you're able to get direction and kind of just, protect yourself a little bit when you're able to see and get direction through observation. So she's showing him how to get into this mirror dimension that does not affect the real world. It doesn't affect the third dimension. It doesn't affect. So in this scene, she tells him that they use the mirror dimension to protect themselves. And she said, if I told you everything else that comes along with you learning how to do this mystic art, you run away from here in terror, because she's talking about the dark dimension. In the dark dimension, their energy becomes amplified in the mirror dimension. Even though it does not affect the real world like the third dimension, it still has the ability to impact them physically, as they're also in the mirror dimension along with them. So you'll see some examples of that later on in the movie. Nobody knows the age of her. Just now they were talking about Caecilius, the one who went rogue. He said that, you used to know him. He was like, yeah, he went rogue. And I don't think he really understood. But now they're getting ready to talk about relics. Like I said before, sometimes when you dabble in certain energies, it's too strong for you to house it within your own being. So with the relics, he said the relics are imbued with, or I would say endowed with, the energy that the humans are not, kind of built to hold. We're not built to hold certain types of energies. Just like if you get electrocuted, you would need a conductor of energy to transfer that energy from one place to another, because you as a human being, you can only house a certain amount of electricity in your body before it consumes you and kills you. And so this is the reason why there are relics, because you need a conductor of the energy in order to actually use it for your benefit. And honestly, all of these people who are channeling and conjuring, they are conductors of energy, just like in a wire copper coil or something like that. It is a conductor of energy, and energy moves through these beings in different ways. The relic is a conductor, and the human being, is also a conductor of energy. So he's showing him how these energies work through the objects that are strong enough to hold the energy, the power. All right, so now here he's getting ready to start getting into the dark magic. He's doing a spell right now, and he's a newbie, but he's advanced. Okay, he's a natural mystic, and so when he gets the hang of this conjuring, he's starting to get good enough to start doing things that are not there. It's just not allowed in this temple. Okay, like I said, the supreme sorcerer, the ancient one, she said y'all ain't allowed to do this stuff, but he didn't know what he was doing. So right here, he is, and this is something that I wanted to point out. I feel like this right here is a good image that shows you what the Akashic Records is like. Okay, so right here, this green circle is like the circle of time, the infinite circle of time. He's wearing this on his arm. Okay, and as he twists his arm, he's going back in time according to the rate of time that he's programming himself. Okay, he's determining he only want to go back a few minutes, or going back and forth a few minutes to see how this apple is going to act. So as he's playing with time, going back and forth, the apple is decaying, the apple is coming back, the apple is decaying, the apple is coming back. So what that tells me is that in the Akashic Records, what is happening? I'm going to read to you what I wrote in the Akashic Records. Akashic Records have to do with timekeeping records. Okay, like I said, he's the keeper of time. Dr. Strange is the keeper of time. To search time for information is to access data points from one central file that exists on a cloud. The reason why he can wear that infinite time on his arm is because it's like it's like a cloud. It's like he's accessing a cloud-based data storage type of thing. Okay, light and darkness draw energy from each other to maintain their purpose. Oh, I already said that to y'all. But this is like data points that he's accessing as he's moving like a dowel on a stove or something. He's accessing different data points by turning to it. He's saying, okay, well, look, I want to see what the apple going to look like right here. Now we're going to go forward in time to that data point. I want to go back and see what the apple going to look like before I ate it. Now we're gonna go back into the data point. Now we're gonna go. This is how the infinite loop of time works. And when we go into the Akashic records, we're just looking through different data points about what has happened in history. What is it? Universal consciousness is basically just taking us to a data point when we access Akashic records. Okay, so now what he wants to do is go a little bit more advanced because he knows that this book is missing some information. You see the pages right here are torn out. So he goes and he does the spell to bring it back. Okay, he gonna go back in time to the data point when this page still existed. So here he goes. He's doing the dial, and look at that. The pages come right back. The dark dimension. He sees the same sigil. Okay, they coming to stop him. You saw the mirror dimension. Okay, the mirror dimension was getting ready to pop up. Unstable dimensional openings. Now, they get afraid because to access the dark energy means that when you open up portals to lower, darker dimensions, that means you're giving them access to meet you where you at. It's almost like a calling card, like Batman. Okay, you open up the dark dimension, you opened up the dark dimension. Okay, so they coming in waving their hands like stop, don't do that. you about to lead these people to where we at. You about to bring them here. Don't do that. You're about to break the time continuum. There's a time and space continuum, and when you play with it, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of like a calling card. People can tell where you at because you're at a data point in time. Okay, you alter that and things begin to kind of move around, and it causes it draws attention. So it draws attention in the astral plane. So they're coming to tell him that you are breaking the space and time continuum, and there are implications for that. Mordo is the black man, the brother. He is strict about natural law. He does not like to break natural law. Okay, he does not like to do that because he knows about cause and effect. In this movie, he says at one point in time, he said, when you break natural law, in essence, he said the bill becomes due. You think there are no consequences for you going back in time and doing all of this stuff that you're doing to alter time? He said the bill will always become due. But what I know about him, and the reason why, well, maybe I should get to this later, but this cause and effect relationship is the reason why he's afraid of him messing with this time and space continuum. So he said you was breaking the damn continuum. Stop tampering with natural law. So now they're looking at the sanctums. The sanctums are over major cities over the universe. Over the planet. If you know anything about the planet has ley lines, latitude and longitude. Along those ley lines, you see, just like acupuncture with our lymph system, the lymphatic system, the earth has these energy centers over these major cities. They have Hong Kong, they have London, they have New York. So over these energy centers, which we call cities, the energy there is being protected by the sanctum of the Sorcerer Supreme, because she knows that the dark power would be attracted to these energy centers because it wants to consume them. They're going to attack major cities first because this is where the heavy gathering of energy is available for consumption by other dimensions, other powers and entities. This is one reason why we're under oppression right now, is because we have entities that are fighting for the energy centers of our planet, which are our major cities: Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles specifically, especially Los Angeles, Hollywood type area, New York, Washington, D.C., all of these places, even other places that are around the world. We talk about, God, what was I trying to say? Not Hong Kong, London. All over the world. I'm not going to go over every major city in the damn world, but we got these major places that house energy that is attractive to other dimensions, other entities from other dimensions, because they want our energy. They want to come and get the consumption of our energy. So let's keep looking. He like, I don't want to fight in some kind of war. Like, he didn't know Caecilius right here, which is pretty powerful. He operating in dark energy. He like, I came here to heal my hands. I ain't come here to be playing around with y'all and these goddamn demons. He wasn't trying to have it. Dr. Strange was like, hell to the no. So right here, he's looking at some portals. These portals are going to different destinations. This is his relic, which is the cape of levitation, or the cloak of levitation. Here is Caecilius also performing dark energy again. He's living in the dark energy, y'all. He's all over the dark energy. He just wanted. Look, him killing people for his own interest. He wants to consume them. He want to get them to come over to the dark side, and if they won't come to the dark side, they won't stop protecting the light. Nah, he ain't trying to have it. So he performing a dark miracle. I mean, a dark magic, altering reality. He trying to conjure his weapons. Look, he's still a newbie a little bit, so his junk ain't working. It ain't working like he thought it was supposed to work. In a second, his relic, which chose him, is going to come and help him out a little bit. These are portals to different destinations. They're all going to get left. Well, them too, they're going to get left. See, she got left. Her portal disappeared. So right here, him and Caecilius are having a fight. He's not advanced. He picked up a relic trying to defend himself. Don't even know what to do with it. His relic got released, and it's going to help him. See, the relic started helping him out. Now he's been accepted. Him and his relic have been united with each other. Now they helping. He helping him stay alive. Well, the cloak is helping him stay alive. Okay. He's trying to show him. Okay, now, I was going to say something because I was thinking about this movie before I did this recording, and I was like, there's something as a thematic representation that I didn't really get a chance to see in this movie, which I'm kind of changing my mind right now because I thought I didn't see spirit guides in this movie, but I think a relic might be a little bit like a spirit guide because they just, this relic, which is just an embodiment of energy, just kind of helped him to understand what to do to protect himself. He told him, throw this goddamn thing at him so this dude, you can stop him. So this thing is enchanted. Clearly it's going to stop him from attacking this guy. And he puts him in a position. So now they're going to have a conversation. This is an important conversation.
My name is Dr. Stephen Strange.
See that sigil on his head still? He's still in the dark energy. All right, now in this scene, they have a conversation because Caecilius talks about the reason why he went rogue. He talks about the fact that he went to Carmitage and he was a student of the ancient one. And he was like, you come there because you want to learn, you want healing and all this other stuff. But she teaches you like parlor tricks. She's teaching you the very simple, little magic tricks that you can do. Simple stuff, not advanced. She keeps the advanced magic for herself because that's the reason why that's the reason why she's been able to maintain an eternal life. They don't know how old she is, but she remains in her youth because she's actually accessing dark energy to maintain her life. Like I said before, dark energy and the the light, they depend on each other for their life. She will be life everlasting as long as she continues to draw her power from the dark side and vice versa. So she doesn't tell anybody that because she does not want them to get in their ego thinking, oh, I want to have an everlasting life. Let me get into this dark energy. They fuck around, get into dark energy, and now they're consumed because they're not ready for everlasting life. They don't know what it means to have everlasting life. They don't know what's their position. What is their responsibility as an eternal being or an eternal etheric being? So she doesn't introduce them to it because she know they can't handle it. Okay? Caecilius is a perfect representation of the reason why none of them have been introduced to it. Because when you get introduced to it, it consumes you if you do not know how to conduct the energy. Okay? And so Caecilius is trying to convince him that you need to be a part of our dark energy, troop or whatever. And he's just like, okay, they tried to kill him. So the relic is coming to help him once again so he can go get some help because he just got stabbed. So he about to end up going to the hospital where his ex-girlfriend works. Yeah, he about to go get him some medical help. His, he was a neurosurgeon, so he's going to his actual hospital where he used to work, and this is his girlfriend. They used to do surgeries together. So he's getting ready to show her his astral body. See, he pops out of his body again. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I think in this movie it would have been more accurate if the supreme being actually looked like him. I feel like the supreme being should be a older version of him, because in reality that's what all of us is. All of us, we are the supreme being. We are the source code, the source energy. We're just different iterations of it. We are all cut from the same cloth. If you put us all back together, you get the source. We're just iterations of the same thing. Different iterations of the same thing. So anyway, she goes and she saves his life. He's trying to tell her. He's trying to tell her how to save his life because she was getting ready to do something that he didn't want her to do. So he getting ready to use his power to show her the relic is still in another dimension, another location. So this guy who trying to kill him, he come out in his etheric body, his astral body comes, and they have an astral fight. Okay, in the astral world, these things, this. You see how that thing was moving because they have all this activity going on? That's the reason why when the spirits start to get active around you, you'll see lights flickering, you'll see things moving, flying off the shelf, you'll see activity because your astral body is real. Your astral body is real. It does have the ability to affect you in this real world. Okay? It has every conscious choice to either join you in your body or leave your body. When you go to sleep, it's leaving your body. It's going on a journey and you don't even know. Okay, so in this scene, Doctor Strange is telling Mordo that the ancient one is drawing dark energy. Okay, Mordo didn't know that. And now he feels betrayed because he has been very strict about keeping natural law and not playing with dark energy. He's very strict about, staying within natural laws. When he finds out that she is bending and breaking natural laws by going into that dark energy, he's not happy about it. First he's in denial, but then when he sees it for himself later in the movie, he becomes a believer of, what's happening. And then he takes matters into his own hands, trying to keep people within natural law. He's very, very representative of our people. I'm going to say this because I would say that in this movie, he, to me, gives me the representation of like a religious person. To me, he takes the mystic art like a religion, and he does not allow himself to deviate from the practices because he is religious about it. He feels like this is something that should never be deviated from, and he does not want anybody else to deviate from it. So, to me, I see that as religion. And it eventually will show you the dangers of religion, because he does end up taking things too far about what he wants for the world of mystics, and how they practice their spiritual practice or their mystical practice. And so, of course, that is his free will. If he wants to stay perfectly within natural law, that's up to him. But if other people want to manipulate reality or manipulate the law for self-preservation and other reasons, for light work, that's up to them if they want to do shadow work in order to maintain their light. He does not like that. So anyway, we're going to get further. They're jumping through portals. They're doing their mystic thing. This is in the mirror dimension. Okay, in the mirror dimension, they're running because Caecilius has a lot more power drawing dark energy in the mirror dimension. He can distort reality in the real world. Okay, he doesn't care about no implications. He don't care nothing about what's happening. This is the real world that he's doing this to. People are actually out here. And this is all of this stuff. And this is key. This is very important. In this scene, I want you to notice how reality is distorted, how things are chaotic, because he is drawing dark energy. Dark energy is chaos. Dark energy is disorientation. It is a lack of clarity. It is a lack of grounding or any type of stability in your reality. It's chaos. So this is what they're experiencing right now. They're really inside of a dark energy right now. And you see all these different distortions like Inception would show you in that movie Inception. You see all these things being distorted, all these things moving around. But something happens, okay? Something happens, and this is key. Watch it. Like they fighting. He about to kill him. Look what happens. Okay? This is not his intention. He did not intend for that to happen, so he confused. Look, here she go. Bam. All right, now, like I said, everything was chaotic when they was in that dark energy. This is so important. When the Ancient One comes, I want you to look at her. Because first of all, everything was chaotic. Everything was distorted. Now, when she pops up, now you see stability. You see a platform. You see order. Okay, she created order when she appeared in this scene. Okay, when she came, things became stable. She brought balance. Now they have a stable platform that they're fighting on. But when you look at her face. She has the sigil. She is doing this by drawing dark energy. She herself is now channeling dark energy because she has to be the equal and opposite reaction for the action. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if she does not channel this dark energy and use it for the protection against itself, then she herself will be consumed and not be able to do anything. But because she knows how to conduct the energy and keep it maintain in a centralized balance, she's able to channel the energy without it consuming her or taking her light away from her. So here she is with the sigil on her head. Okay. And she's now also a part of this dark conjuring from the dark world. But what is she using it for? She's using it to create order and balance as she's streaming or conjuring or conducting or channeling this dark energy. And you'll see in this scene, she said, I try to protect you. I try to protect you from yourself. She knew that he was not ready for this. And this is the reason why. He's trying to kill everybody. So she's showing him, look, I got you, bruh. I'm more powerful than you right here. I got the light just like, see? Okay, but they killed her. This actually killed her. She's in the real world. You see this. These are people actually seeing what's going on. They had to rush her to the hospital. And she, in the conversation, Caecilius was like, you're a hypocrite. He called her a hypocrite in that scene because he's like, you conjuring the same dark energy you don't want us to conjure. So she's dying. This is her last moments. And Dr. Strange wants to come and visit her in the astral world because he needs to talk to her to figure out what is she doing. He thinks that she can save her own life. And she tells him that, this is my last moment. I could never, she said, all my life I've been looking into the future. She said, I could never see your future. I could only see the possibilities of your future. She said, you have a large, high capacity to do good in this world. But she said, you have this, she said, you're so good because you have a fear of failure. You have a fear of failure, and that's the reason why you're so good. And so he was like, I guess, is that a bad thing? And she was like, no, but it's the reason why you can't get any better. Because you're so smart, you think you can't be no smarter. And you're relying on your intellect, your ego, to get you to a place. But when you become selfless and recognize that this whole battle is not about you, when you learn to become selfless and self-sacrificial, then you learn about what this is all about. You learn your true power when you realize that this is not about you. It's about how you're using your power. It's how you use it, like she did. When she became a conductor of dark energy, it wasn't that she was conducting the dark energy. It was how she used it. She used the dark energy for the purpose of maintaining and sustaining her light work, to protect people, to control those that were going rogue and trying to insert their power over other people's free will, trying to subjugate people, trying to oppress people, trying to kill people. She wanted to stop that, and she had to use these conjured weapons, these conjured shields. You saw when she had that thing up against old dude's neck. That was a weapon. You get weapons from darkness, and I want you to think about it like this. If you go and buy a gun, it's not about you having the gun. It's not about the gun. It's about what you do with the gun. You can have the gun and you can protect people. You can go out and look for, I mean, not look for, but you can make sure that you have your gun on your person. So if anybody comes to try to take your life, to try to threaten your family, to try to take your possessions, to try to hurt you in any way, you can use that gun, which could be a dark energy. You could call it a dark energy, but it's protecting you. But if you choose to take that gun and go shoot people for no reason, take people's belongings yourself, then now you have become consumed by that darkness. And now you've allowed yourself to use the energy resources that you have to do terrible negative things. It's just like being in a gaming system. You have a source of life. It just so happens that our source of life is polarized. Our source of life has a dual nature. It is light and it is dark, but it is there nonetheless to maintain our source of life energy. It is the source of our life. And so in this darkness, she tells him in this scene in the astral field, it's not about you, it's about what you do. Basically, it's about how you do what you do. And so in this, this is where she dies. And now Caecilius is in the Hong Kong sanctum where they are trying to protect Hong Kong's energy. They're trying to protect it from being consumed by Dormammu. And here he is. Dormammu is appearing in this scene, and here he is conjuring. He's using dark energy. He's manipulating time. He's violating natural law right now because he's going back. He's doing the same thing he was doing with the apple. When they came in and they stopped him, they was like, stop, stop, stop. Okay. Now, this is another place where we have to pause because in this scene, he's going back in time. And at first, it stopped them. They were being affected by him stopping time, rewinding it, and they were actually rewinding along with the time. But because the dark supreme energy and also the light supreme energy, they exist outside of time. So what ends up happening is as he's conjuring and embodying this dark energy, he actually breaks out of the time spell that Doctor Strange is performing right now. He breaks out of it. You can see his form is starting to break out of that spell, and he's now able to actively fight even though time is still going back. Okay, because the dark energy, our energy sources, they exist outside of time. So these things are going back, and now these folks are being impacted by the time spell that Doctor Strange just cast on Hong Kong. So in Hong Kong, everything is going back because these people don't know how to break out of the spell. These folks know how to break out of the spell, so they broke out of it, and now they're not impacted by what's happening with time. So the time spell got broken. And now everybody's just frozen. Everybody's just frozen. All right. So somebody said something to Doctor Strange and said, Caecilius was trying to tell him, bruh, you can't stop this. Hong Kong is about to get consumed by this dark energy. You can't stop it because you're trying to do it by altering time to save you and protect you. But Dormammu exists outside of time. So that sets a light bulb off. That sets off a light bulb in Doctor Strange's mind, and this is so key. Oh, God. This is the best part of the movie, y'all. Best part of the movie. He goes up into this space with Dormammu, and he redoes the time spell. He does another spell. Dormammu, I came to bargain with you. He's protecting himself because Dormammu trying to kill him. Dark energy wants to consume the light, always, because that's how dark energy stays alive. It consumes the light. Okay? But all right. So what he does is he sets an infinite loop of time so that no matter how many times Dormammu kills him, that same moment will continue to reoccur. He got this idea from Mordo because earlier in the movie, Mordo says, you are here playing with these time spells. When they came in the room to try to stop him, he said, do you want to get caught in reliving the same moment over and over again or never even existing at all? Stop messing with time. So this, again, it sets off an idea in Doctor Strange's mind. And he's like, okay, I'm about to use that because if I get stuck in the same moment of time, this infinite loop, infinitely, I'm stuck in the same moment, then so will Dormammu. Okay, and so what he tells him is that I'm here to bargain with you. Either you're going to stop your attack on our planet, stop your attack on our people, and just go somewhere else, or it's going to be me and you. We're going to continuously relive the same moment over and over again in the same loop of time infinitely. and you will be my slave. You will have to stay here with me, and we're just going to have to entertain each other. It's just going to be me and you, boo. Dormammu don't like that. So immediately you see a shift of power. You see a shift of power just that quickly, where Doctor Strange lets Dormammu know, I'm not releasing you until you release us. Okay? So Dormammu says, stop this. He continuously tries to kill him over and over and over again. He says, release me. Dormammu tells Doctor Strange, release me. Now, this is supreme darkness. He says, set me free, man. Set me free. This is how we have our power, okay? We have our power, which is, it is the fact that we are centralized inside of this loop of time where we are to be balancing the dark and the light. That is where we have our power. Dormammu couldn't do nothing to break that spell. He could not do anything because he was stuck in the goddamn spell. He was stuck in it. So he tells him, set me free. And he's like, no, I told you I came here to bargain. You're going to have to agree. And in the spirit world, when you agree, that's contractual. It is binding. You cannot go back on your agreement. Once you've agreed and you have that mutual agreement with your intentions, with the universe, he had to oblige. So you see, he's like, what is happening? Endless loop time. You can't do this forever. He said, actually, I can. This is how it is now. He gets upset. Dormammu, I'm back again. You can kill me over and over again, different ways. Trying to kill him in every different way possible. It's not going to work. You're my prisoner. What do you want? Dormammu says, what do you want? And so here he goes. He's being released. And Dormammu is retreating. Now you see this is, okay, and when he was casting spells and they came in to rush in the room and stop him, they were telling him there are consequences. Like Mordo said, the bill will become due when you break natural law. So Caecilius, what he didn't realize and what the Ancient One was trying to tell his dumb ass, you cannot get into this dark energy thinking that it's not going to consume you if you're out of balance. So what ends up happening is because he's been working with this dark energy, he's actually owned by the darkness. So when the darkness retreats and goes into another dimension, he has to go with it. This is one of the consequences or one of the effects from the cause and effect natural law that he's been breaking. Okay, so because and this is one thing I know about advanced magic. When you're advanced, you can do what you want to break the natural law as long as you're doing it with good intention. Okay, Caecilius did not have good intention. He was imposing his free will over the free will of others. And he was taking lives and making people conform to what he wanted to do. This is out of balance with natural law. Now, there's no way he could stop any kind of consequence from coming to him because he does not know how to transmute that kind of energy. The Ancient One, she could bend natural law and do whatever she wanted to do to use it for light purposes because number one, her intentions were good. And number two, she knows how to transmute any type of energy coming at her. She knows how to take that dark energy and use it for light. That's transmutation. So when she's bending the natural laws and all this other stuff, Mordo, he's scary. He like, don't do that. You're going to have to pay the consequences. She already knows there is no consequence when you have good intentions. There is no consequence when you know how to transmute from darkness to light. There is no karma when my intentions are good and I know how to transmute whatever comes to me. Whatever comes to me negative as a consequence to what I just did, if it's negative, I can transmute it. I will transmute it. And it's going to end up for the light again. I know how to do light work. I know how to do shadow work. So you don't know how to do that. If you would have stayed my student and you would have let me get you to a place where you are your own supreme Ancient One and you know how to draw your life from darkness, then she probably could have got him there. But he didn't want to learn. He wanted to go off on his own, thinking that he knew every goddamn thing. Sometimes, we got to learn how to humble ourselves. And so here you see him getting taken away from the darkness. He's being consumed. He is being consumed. And so Doctor Strange is now seeing that Dormammu is leaving from Hong Kong and the sanctum is being restored. Okay? So we're going to go into some of my notes now that we've seen pretty much the whole movie on a highlight reel. And I'm just going to go over my notes. So centralization is a key theme in transcendence. Okay. Centralization is key because, like I said, for us to be in balance, we have to be in the center. We have to be centered and grounded in order for us to be able to conduct energy. I don't know if you know anything about electricity, but being grounded has a lot to do with you being able to be a conductor without consuming yourself to the point where you're no longer able to conduct or house this energy. So she was talking to him about cellular regeneration and epigenetics when she was talking about how over time, the more and more you learn the mystic art, your spirit will be able to regenerate your body because you're able to do spell work on yourself. And this is something that happened when he was looking at the guy with the spinal injuries that showed him the temple in the first place. He goes to this guy and asks him, he was trying to ask, how did this guy heal himself? Because again, Dr. Strange was only looking for healing for his hands. That was it. He was trying to get healing for his hands. And he was like, well, how did this guy heal himself? So the Ancient One basically let him know he did that with magic. He started streaming and conjuring energy, magic, constantly to keep his body functioning. And this is something that we all have the power to do. Epigenetics and cellular reprogramming, cellular programming. It happens by way of our mental programming of our cells internally. So she was showing him that that's a way that he could use his magic for himself and for nothing else. When she was about to pass away, she let him know that this is what's going on in his world. He could use the magic to do whatever he needed to do and just not even be a mystic sorcerer, not even help the world, not do none of that. You could just do the magic on yourself and let it be for you. And that's what the original guy with the spine injury did. So at the end of the movie, Mordo, he went rogue. Okay. Like I told you, Mordo was a religious kind of freak. He's like a religious freak, kind of like some people are Jesus freaks. He was like a natural law freak. He didn't like nobody to go against the natural law. So at the end, he goes to the guy with the spinal injury and he took away that man's magic. He took the man's magic out of his spine and made him back into a cripple because it's too many sorcerers out here performing magic for selfish reasons. So he went rogue because he wanted people to do light work for all of humanity like he was doing. But again, that's darkness. That's dark. He's using his light for dark purposes. Again, this is interchangeable. You can use the darkness for your light work, or you can use light for dark energy, dark shadow work, darkness. He using what he understands as to be light work, and he's imposing on somebody else's free will to do what they want. That's darkness. You don't do that. It's a violation. And he didn't even see it that way because, again, he's not advanced enough to be on that level of understanding. You do not impose on another person's free will with your own free will, with your magic or whatever. Okay, so this infinite time loop was created to save us from having to deal with being consumed by these things. Because we live in an infinite time loop, like I said, in our reality, every day we are in the same 24-hour loop. Every day, the sun rises, the sun sets. The moon rises, the moon sets. Every day, we're dealing with light, a balance between light and dark. Every day. It's an infinite loop. But we live outside of time as well because we are also infinite beings. And I'm going to tell you what that means. For us to live outside of time, it's just like the mirror dimension. It's just like the mirror dimension where the things we do, it's kind of it's a concept that's similar to the mirror dimension. But what I mean is we are living in a space where we grow and we create things. We move our energy through time, but it's not necessarily affected by time. Our energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only change form. It can only change form. That is the reason why each and every one of us comes into this reality in different bodies, because it's changing the form of our energy. Okay. The body that you have houses a different vibrational program of energy than the body that I have. And because energy is infinite, it can have infinite implications, infinite possibilities of what can happen with this energy, what it can be channeled into. That's why we have 8 billion people on this planet. And every last one of us has a different energy composition, because there are infinite possibilities of how this energy can be alchemized, how it can be built in order for us to move it through time and create things. So the things that we create, let's say, for example, I conjure up something in this world. Let's say I conjure up a weapon. And I want you to understand this. Conjuring a weapon in this real world, not in the movie. Conjuring a shield or casting spells, that means that you're using your language. It means you're using your words, you're using your focus, you're using your intention. You're doing it you're speaking in a specific way that programs reality. That is your spell. That is your shield. Okay. Your shield is when you're stopping things from coming at you that may harm you. Okay. When you're doing that, you're using weapons. Your tongue is a weapon. Your intention can be a weapon. Okay. The way you intend to do things, the way you speak things, those are weapons in this world. If you draw from a dark energy or doing shadow work, what you say and what you intend to do or what you intend to happen, what you believe, those things can be weapons in this dimension if you are intending for it to be a weapon. Even if you don't intend for it to be a weapon, you can say some things that are dangerous without intentionally doing that. So your conjuring of a weapon is not, like I said, it's not sensationalized like it shows you in the movie, but it's very literal. Your tongue is a sword. Okay? The things that you use, like your altar, your ancestor work, your spirit guides, shields, those are things that shield you from even the mirror dimension. When you're observing yourself, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, like let's just say, for example, something happens and you come to the realization that it was your fault. That's a mirror. That's a mirror that you're seeing in life, where you're recognizing how you played a role in the situation. You're looking at yourself in the mirror. That is the mirror dimension. You're observing your patterns. You're observing your thoughts. These are things that can act as a shield to protect you from yourself. Like she said, when she started channeling the energy and she stabilized the chaotic altering of reality that he was doing. She came and she said, I was trying to protect you from your damn self, because you didn't realize that you're using these things as weapons and you're being consumed by your own magic. Okay? So learning to, she says in the movie, there's a key quote that she says in the movie. He's trying to use the sling ring to do his visualization technique. He's trying to, conjure up a gateway. And because he couldn't get it, he getting frustrated and stuff. And this is when she came to him and she says, you cannot beat a river into submission. Okay. You have to surrender to its current and use its power as your own. She's talking about dark energy right there. This is something that she does every day, according to the movie. She's in the dark energy to sustain her infinite life. Okay. So she tells him, you cannot beat the darkness. You cannot beat it. You have to surrender to the power of the darkness and use the power of the darkness as your own power. And when you're using it as your own power, you determine what you're using it for. You can use it for light or you can use it for darkness. It's up to you. It's about how you use it, but it is there for your use nonetheless. Okay? Time is the rate at which information transfers or flows from one data set or from one data form to another, one form to another. Okay, time speeds up when you focus. Time slows down when you don't focus. Time is faster on higher vibrations. Time is slower on lower vibrations. Have you ever had a day go by really fast and other days go by really slow? It's because of what was happening during that day that made it the time alter in your perception of reality. The time alters based on what you're doing. That's why you really need to be doing something in your life that you love, because the time, the higher vibration, it will speed up. Time flies when you're having fun. That's real. Okay. Having power beyond one's ability to direct it is to consume oneself to death. If you get into darkness or light and you don't have the power to conduct that energy, you could be consumed by it either way. The light or the darkness. You have to be centered in it. Okay. Like being electrocuted. Without self-sacrifice to channel the energy to your pure intentions, the power of darkness or light is going to inevitably consume whoever's conducting that energy. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. I think that's it. Okay, I'm going to read this anyway. Notice that when she conjures in the dark energy, she has the sigil on her head, which means that she's also drawing the dark energy. She is the superior force on the mystic team, yet she is practicing the forbidden rituals that, that she was forbidding from them on herself. Remember when Jesus went to hell to preach the gospel? That's exactly what this is like. She went to hell to preach the gospel. She conjured the dark energy because she wanted to use it for light. And this is something that it puts it into context for you if you know about the Bible. She went into the dark energy with her light to preserve her own life. She shows this because she came there ready to kill Caecilius. She was about to kill him. It takes dark energy for you to take another life or for you to protect your own. She conjured weapons from the dark dimension to protect her light. Okay, she used those as weapons. Okay, and she told Dr. Strange, as you well know, sometimes you have to break the rules to serve the greater good. Okay, she said that Mordo is rigid and unmovable because he knows that breaking these rules are subject to natural law, the cause and effect. And when he said the bill becomes due, this is showing that he's afraid. Like I said earlier, he cannot, excuse me, he cannot transmute the light. This is a pendulum swing. I talk to y'all about the pendulum swing sometimes. The cause and effect. When you do things, it comes back at you. Pendulum. Okay, he don't know how to transmute that pendulum, so he's afraid of it, and that's the reason why he didn't want to do it. I thought that it's interesting that it brought to mind another show. There's a show out here that shows transmutation of this pendulum swing very, very clearly. It's a clear depiction that shows Scandal. If you watch Scandal, you'll see what transmutation of energy looks like. Every time Kerry Washington's character, I forgot her name, Olivia Pope. Every time Olivia Pope got on the scene of some kind of project that she had to work on, she was a master of transmutation. She used public relations to basically twist every story into something that worked in her favor or in the favor of her client. That's transmutation. That's using darkness for the light. It's a very good way to show in a real world, a practical application, what it looks like to do this. If you have something going on that could possibly threaten you, to transmute it into something that works for you, it's transmutation. This is why she told him that his fear of failure was what was keeping him back. Death gives life to meaning. I'm gonna go. I think this is it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm glad I only went about an hour, so I'm gonna put this up for you guys, and hopefully you get something from it. I hope you go watch the movie so you can see. Shahi, hush. I hope that you can get something from this because, like I said, the movie is very deep. There were some books in here that I'm probably gonna research. They talked about Maxim's Primer, or what do they call it? They talked about Maxim's Primer, but the Maxims of Law. So I want you to go research that from the movie, The Maxims of Law. Another thing that they talked about was the Key of Solomon, the Book of the Invisible Sun, Astronomia Nova, Codex Imperium, and the Book of Cagliostro. I don't know about those things. I haven't researched them yet, but I plan on doing that so I can see if it's real, if it's talking about, or is it just a part of the Marvel Universe. I don't know. But if it is, I'm about to find out. So that being said, y'all comment about what you got out of the movie. Comment about the most important scenes you found in the movie, and see if you found anything that was important or anything that was significant. I would love to discuss it with all of you. So this is me, Reese Roberts. Entertain the Thought is available in my link in bio. Please make sure that you click my link in bio to see all the things I have available. Like I've been telling y'all for a minute, the Learners Academy has been on pause for a second because I'm redoing the way I'm organizing and structuring those courses. So when that is done, I will relaunch them so that you guys can go and learn at your own pace without me being involved in the live sessions. So That'll be done shortly, and I'll let you know when. But in the meantime, you guys holler at me, listen to the podcast, and I'll talk to you guys when I come back to social media. I love you guys. Peace and love and light. Bye.